Yeah, no,
offer.
no, absolutely.
Right.
Health is a big part of mental health, as you know.
Mm-hmm.
So,
And that's a whole thing. So,
Yeah.
all right. Welcome to the Actually Doing Things podcast. We have a special guest today. Greg Kettner is here of WorkHappy, and I am excited to be back for episode 22. We're going to talk about his journey to becoming a speaker, the journey of mental health, and how having conversations and just getting started can be a game changer. So
big thing.
Yeah, big time.
Yeah.
So, Greg, we go back way far. You,
Yeah.
I think, started even CrossFit.
Yes.
Within that first year that we opened up. I think you came that first year that
I got tired of going home and crying.
Greg is currently a recovering CrossFitter, and he's and recovering Adventist, whatever you want to call it. Yeah, whatever. Tell me a little bit about yourself. What's been your journey? What is something you're proud of?
I'm proud of being a stepdad. I'm proud of WorkHappy, and I guess the impact. One of my friends said you're a can opener because I talk about happiness and mental health, but I'm not a therapist. I'm not the person you go to when you're struggling. But I'm like, hey, this is okay. This is how you do it. Because up until 8 years ago, I was not big. I wouldn't talk about mental health or suicide or this or that until my wife Becky woke me up at 2:08 on a Monday morning, March 18th, and said we need to talk. And I was like, oh my God, what did I do wrong? Right? It's
Not
2
again.
o'clock in the morning.
What did I not turn off?
Did I not start the dishwasher? But she said she let me know that her ex-husband and Rachel's dad passed by suicide. It was a shock to the system. I didn't know what to say. I didn't know what to feel or how to think. I was numb. And we sat on the couch for 4 or 5 hours Googling how do you tell a 13-year-old that their dad's gone by suicide. So we talked about it, and then stuff started coming up, and tears, and hanging on to each other, and we got through it. And it, there's still times where it comes up for Rachel. I mean, Becky and I are doing, but all of us started going to therapy. We went a couple times all together, and then it was Rachel and Becky because it was their relationship with her dad that I didn't have. But I've now learned how to have those conversations. I thought they were weird and awkward. But now it's my mission to help 1 million people be okay talking about mental health in the workplace.
Love it.
Because it's so important.
So you, that whole journey kind of was a catalyst for some big shifts for you.
Yeah, huge.
So tell me a bit more about what else has happened in your life since that big catalyst.
I think I've become a better person. I've definitely become a better stepdad,
All right, there you go.
Stepdad and better husband. My communication's been a lot better. But I think, and I mean, as we age, our priorities change. But my priority is now serving others. When I came out of college, I'm like, okay, I want to get the house and the job and the wife and the kids and make a lot of money and drive a Porsche. And I'm like, what can I do today to help somebody else out? And building this business, although not every day is a WorkHappy day, but I know from day to day that it's going to get better and better and better. And just some of the people, like we were talking earlier, I spoke last Thursday to a group of maintenance people at schools. These guys are already, they're introverted. They want to be by themselves. They're loners. And we had a 2-hour conversation around mental health, around relationships, around happiness. And people came up to me afterwards and said, how do I start therapy? Which I wish I would have had that conversation with somebody 30 years ago, because therapy is good. Therapy is good.
And, not speaking as a therapist, I think like some of the best things that have happened for me is when I've had help. Because, when we are practicing the vulnerability, when we practice sharing our story, it's like, it's nice to have a safe space.
Absolutely, right? And I've had people, and I don't know if you've had this or heard this, but people like, oh, I tried therapy, it didn't work, I didn't like it, or it wasn't the right person. I'm like, find somebody else, because that's happened to me as well too. And I encourage people. There was one kid came up to me afterwards, and he was just beside himself because he's like, my sister passed away from suicide a month ago, and I just don't understand, because that night she called me up and said, hey, let's go see a movie. So we went to dinner, had a movie, and the next morning she was gone. And he goes, why didn't I have that conversation with her? And I'm like, you don't know, typically, because people who are going through that, they are struggling, and unless you've struggled to that level, you don't know what's going on in their head. And so I'm trying to make it okay to say, hey, how's your headspace? How are things going? Or ask the question a second time, how are you really doing? Let's get a coffee, right? And I think once you do that, the walls come down, and then we can have a conversation, whether it's a relationship or your kids or money or whatever it might be.
Yeah, those big topics tend to be, like you mentioned, like money, mental health. They're big, but they're also, if the more you can be vulnerable, it just shifts everything in terms of closeness.
Yeah.
I was reading, I think it was Simon Sinek and Trevor Noah talking about friendship, and like if you can't sit in the mud with somebody, right?
And they're crying, right? Here are two grown men. One guy is a world famous comedian, but it's that conversation that you've had, and I've been fortunate enough, and I got to work with Ron Moines one night. He wasn't supposed to be on the bill, but we were doing an open mic. He happened to walk into this comedy club with 7 people in it. And after the show, he said, Greg, keep on making people happy because you'll never know the difference. So every once in a while you find it and people will tell you. But after speaking to thousands of groups and tens of thousands of people, I've had stories where people come up and said, your message has saved my life. I've reached out. I started to go in counseling. I had one person, I posted on Facebook, you matter to me. It was 4 words, that was it. And obviously, mental health, nobody responded, nobody liked it, nobody shared it. But I got a message 3 days later from a friend. We worked together over in Seattle 20 years ago. Hadn't really talked to her, kind of followed her on Facebook. And she said, Greg, thank you for the positive message. It saved my life. And she went on to say that she was struggling through COVID with her mental health, with her marriage. Her child was struggling with learning disabilities in school and stuff. And she said, I had a plan. I was going to go running and run off a cliff, and it was going to be better for everybody, because that's where people get to. Yeah. And she said, for whatever reason, I got on Facebook that morning and I saw your post and it said, you matter to me. And she thought, I matter to Greg. I'm not going to go running. I didn't even say anything. I typed on Facebook. Right. So we never know the power that we have. And it's not me, it's the message. Yes. Right? You know that. And there's so many people that if they have that glimpse of somebody cares about me, or I matter to somebody, or somebody's willing to have a conversation, it's powerful. It is powerful. And I think that you also mentioned that, like, we've worked together on a couple different projects with, like, Reach Out with suicide prevention with Walla Walla, and then you had a pretty big role in starting another program, which was for men. Do you want to talk about that a little bit? Yeah. So after Rachel lost her dad to suicide, I didn't know what to do. So I joined a group here in Walla Walla called Reach Out Walla Walla for the survivors and people left behind, and people who are struggling with mental health. And we, the research shows that the highest group or rate of suicide is 25 to 45 in the trades for whatever reason it is. Maybe it's lonely, or just go, you work and then you get off, you're stressed, so you have a beer and then you go back to work and all that. And so we started a group here in town, and the 4th Sunday of every month we go to the Christian Aid Center, and 5 or 6 of us, we cook dinner and we serve dinner to our homeless community. And it's amazing. Just before Christmas, we're standing in line serving food, and somebody walked up and they're like, hey Greg, how are you? It's been a while. It was a friend from high school. Wow. And she was down on her luck, and she was there with her kids getting her meal, and I went out and hugged her, and we caught up, and she's like, yeah, it's just a real struggle. I said, well, let me know how I can help. And she's like, oh, it would just be nice if I could do some stuff for the kids for Christmas. So I got back home and texted all the guys and said, hey, I want to put together a gift card or a Visa card. And I was hoping, maybe give her $100, $150. We gave her $327 from a group of 8 or 9 guys. Right. And that's what makes me happy. That's what lights me up. It used to be when I got a big check, or when you got the job, or when you started dating somebody, or you got a new car. But something like that, I mean, you can't pay for that. No. Yeah. And I think, and I've worked and talked about these kind of things, but like connection is such a big deal. And if we can find ways to connect and like have that conversation, whether it's a four words you put on Facebook, or it's the like quick, like, hey, I was thinking about you today.
you never know what people are going through.
Yeah.
Right. So you've had some opportunities to start this process, like WorkHappy.
Yeah.
So, and you even have your own podcast. So follow his podcast. It's
We're
WorkHappy.
gonna do a swap.
I know we're gonna stop. I will show up. I've already invited myself.
Oh, there you go again.
That's okay.
There was an
fine.
earthquake.
You're just the earth shakes, right? But I think it's as a person who's been now in mental health for such a long time, and in fitness. I think it's
tied right together.
It's padded together, and I think, and I see it more and more every day, that we can use physical movement, doing something together, as a way of connecting. And I was loving hearing you talk about the fact that you're like finding ways to give back as part of your man in the middle group.
Yeah.
So tell me a little bit more about how does this WorkHappy? How does WorkHappy work for you in terms of like you're doing this whole speaker?
Yeah.
Being a speaker
training,
man. Yeah.
Coaching, whatever.
Yeah.
So I got into it out of a bad situation. We got into COVID, and I was working at the local chamber, and I got a phone call and said, "You're no longer essential." And I said, "Well, I think you're no longer essential," but he was the boss. And so I had to go upstairs with my tail between my legs and say, "Hey, we're down to one income. I have no long how COVID's going on, and I'm sorry, I don't know what to do." And I wanted to rip him a new one and letter to the editor and all over the place, like, "How dare you, the great Greg Kettner."
It's fair.
And so, I was venting to my wife, and Becky's like, "Greg, whatever you do, please do not do anything for 48 hours. Don't go on social media. Don't, just promise me that." And I said, "Okay." She goes, "Go golfing." And so that week we started talking, and she's like, "Well, what would you want to do if you could do anything?" And I said, "Well," she goes, "Well, you love comedy. Would you want to go do that?" And I said, "Well, it's COVID. We're not getting together. We don't, and I want to stay married, and it's not a lot of money." And so she said, "Well, why don't you help other people work happy? Because you're always positive. Like, you can get shot down." And she goes, "I know you're in a bad mood now, but in 2 weeks, it'll be fine. I know you like that." And so I've always had that, positivity in me. And that was the catalyst. And I said, "Yeah, I want to go back and help other people, because I've had jobs my whole life. I've had great jobs. I've had horrible jobs, but I know how to set my own happiness. And when I get beat down, I'm like, okay, take my time, take my licks, and get up and go again." And so she said, "Well, why don't you go and be on stage, because you love entertaining people, and help them work happy." And so I just started calling people, and 2 or 3 people finally got back to me on LinkedIn and said, "Yeah, we'll give you some tips on how to speak and stuff." And here we are 6 years later, and I'm booked all year long. I just booked an event on a cruise ship down in the Bahamas in March of next year, and I'm allowed to take a guest. And so I was telling Becky about this. She's like, "I want to come here and speak." And I was like, finally, after 6 years, like, "Oh, I want to go on a cruise."
Now I want to go on a cruise, right?
Toledo, Ohio, I hear nothing.
Yeah, fine, shoot, huh? Yeah, you got some tips, but you also you started before you were ready.
Yeah, run before, or crawl before you run. Run before you crawl.
So you've actually been doing this thing that you had just like kind of maybe in your mind, and you had an opportunity.
Yeah.
So tell me more about what was it like to do your first one?
It was intimidating. My first one was at my daughter's high school. It was a class, and I got up in front of 80 kids, and the talk was how to get lucky. Because I figured if I said how to get lucky, they would show up and attend. But it was...
You got 80 kids to show up. That's good.
But the harder you work, the more lucky you get. So make your own luck was the talk. And I just saw a video of it a couple of weeks ago, and I was like, oh boy. But I have persistence, and they're not all perfect. I did have the advantage that I did stand-up comedy for 8 years. So getting on stage was not a problem, but I had no speech. I had no idea where I was going to go. And when I started out, mental health wasn't even a part of it, because it was pretty early on.
Yeah.
And I wanted to make sure that I had Becky and Rachel's permission to talk about our story before I started doing that. But it's focused on how do we keep happy, how do we have these conversations about mental health, and they're hand in hand. And I love what you're doing with the fitness, right? And people, when they come here, at least when I came here, I loved the the community that you guys have built, right? And I can see you on the street or the grocery store. And if I'm having a crappy day, I know I can have a conversation with you, and you don't send me a bill.
Zero bill. I have a zero billing.
But it's that community. So anybody who walks in here, they're getting physically fit, but you're getting them mentally fit as well too, because it's so connected.
Yeah, and to be honest, I think that I've had a couple people ask that like conversation, and the reality is, I feel better with my mental health when I take the time to work out. If I don't work out, I feel like I have not, and then I'm pouring from like an empty cup of sorts, because I need to feel, because I'm a super extrovert, I love having the thing, but by doing something hard, I just know that that'll probably be the hardest part of my day. In that like it was the one that hit me and it hurt me the most, right? Like in terms of like making muscle, right?
Yeah.
But but the high five at the end of the class, the like camaraderie, the community is something that is second to none. And if I could get everybody at, my mission here is, healthier, happier, more connected, Walla Walla, but also like our healthier, happier, kind of more connected life.
Yeah.
And similar to like for you, the WorkHappy philosophy sounds so much just like have a conversation.
It's slowing things down like you do, right? And what you do is not rocket science. Anybody can go on YouTube and figure it out. Anybody can be a speaker, go to YouTube. It takes the hard work, and you have to learn new muscles. And I mean, even over the weekend, I got an email. I was down to me and another speaker. I didn't get it. Yeah. And so for a couple hours, I was in a bad mood. I'm like, why not? What? Am I not good enough? Am I too expensive? Do they not like me? So all this stuff goes through my head. I'm like, all right, Greg, well, what do you tell other people? And so I sat down. I'm like, okay, I've done everything. There's hundreds of thousands of other great speakers out there. It wasn't my turn this time, but maybe next year, or maybe they'll book me for a different event. So it's putting in the reps and keeping that focus and not giving up.
What was your favorite one you've done so far? Favorite place you've done a talk?
Probably at the Mayo Clinic in Minnesota.
Tell me about it.
In Rochester. So it was for the Association of Healthcare Engineers. So they're the non-patient facing people. They're keeping the lights on, the air conditioning running, the gases, the roof not leaking, all those types of people. There's 900 people. And I got up there and I was very intimidated to stand up in front of 900 people. But
that's awesome.
I got the one laugh out of the way. I'm like, okay, you got this, Greg. And afterwards, and it wasn't even afterwards, it was the next morning after breakfast, a gentleman came up to me and said, hey, can I tell you something? I said, yeah. And he let me know that he was there. His wife had taken her own life 2 weeks earlier. Everybody knew about it, but nobody knew how it happened. And he goes, I had no idea how to talk to people about it. I didn't have the courage. I thought shameful. I felt guilt. He goes, but after listening to you, I started telling people that my wife passed by suicide. And he goes, the immense relief that I didn't have to hide that anymore. And just that one conversation with one guy who I'll never see again, but it helped him. It helped him through his crisis. And I have to remember that every time when I get an email that says you didn't get the gig, or somebody doesn't return my call, or something falls apart. There's these highlights, like you have them at the gym as well too. I'm sure not every day is perfect, and there's always stuff.
I don't RX every workout. I don't RX every workout. No, and I also fail to remember what my round was that I was on.
Right, but I mean, but some days you probably go home and you talk to Erica, and you're like, why are we doing this, and blah blah blah. Right, we all have that, and that's life. Right, but what I share with people is what I've learned is how to get back up off the mat and keep going, and it's awesome. It's super important. Yeah.
And so you've been doing WorkHappy now for a pretty long period of time now, and you've had. What are some of your goals now? What is like you mentioned before, just still helping people, right? Like that's a great goal. Is there some kind of, like you mentioned, 1 million people that you want to help? I love it. I want to help.
I'm working on a book.
Okay.
I'm gonna fire up my podcast. Now I have it on video, so thank you.
It's happening. Accountability,
buddy. Just to grow it to the point where, and the thing that I really like, I'm extroverted. I'm ADHD, and I found out that I'm not good from 9 to 5 in an office. I'm good at doing it, but that's not my flow. Right. So now I can, if I'm on the road, I can still work. I can go golfing. I can hang out. So my mental health is better. while I'm helping other people, and just to support my family and give back. And eventually, I'd like to create this Men in the Middle to even bigger, and not necessarily to make money off of it, but a program that somebody in one town can go, oh, that's a great idea. How do I do it? Well, here's the blueprint. Go. Because that has, as much as I thought it would help our community, it's helped our guys. We've had 5 guys in the group go through divorces since COVID. And even one guy, Tom and I used to golf all the time together. And I didn't see him for a couple of weeks out at the golf course. And then I was at Starbucks on Main, just doing some work. And he walked in, I'm like, Tom, how are you? And he just started bawling. I go, man, what's going on? He's like, my wife left me last night. I'm an alcoholic. I'm a gambler. I need help. What do I do? I said, I'm not sure, but what do you want to tackle first? He goes to drinking. I said, okay. So I pulled out my phone and I found an AA meeting at a church and 20 minutes later, and I'm like, let's go. And he's like, why would you go to an AA meeting? I'm like, I couldn't imagine walking in there by myself, not knowing or having any support, and just how weird it would be. So let's go. And so I went to my first AA meeting, and he kept going, and about a month or two later, he called me and said, hey, just want to let you know I'm going into rehab, 30 days, no phones, but I'll update you as soon as I'm done. But I just want to let you know and thank you for having that conversation at Starbucks. And so I said, well, with your permission, can I let some of the other guys know? So I went and texted all the guys and said, hey, here's the story. Tom's in rehab for 30 days. Please take time out, leave him a voicemail, send him a text. He came out and he had over 300 texts and voicemails from the guys. And that's what lights me up, right? And I wish it didn't take me this long to figure it out. So now I'm trying to, as young as we can, let's learn this lesson.
You're not old.
No.
But you're not old.
If I'd known all this when I was in 20s, how much heartache could I have missed out on? But on the flip side, I might not be where I'm at if I hadn't gone through it.
Yeah, and I think about that a lot. Like we are living in this very disconnected world. There's stories of the guys that you connected with during the Men in the Middle, and there are people in the gym who are struggling. There are people who are, the world has shifted so far away from connection.
Yep, and AI is a huge one now, right? People are now going to AI for therapy. Okay. Yeah. What works for me may not work for you. Right, and that's a whole, and it's that human connection, and the biggest source of happiness at work is if someone has one friend that they can count on, whether they're having a great day and they can share success, or they're struggling and they need to go for a coffee and have a cry. But if you have one friend at work, that jumps your happiness exponentially.
So that's probably a great data point, right?
Yeah.
So we have this, that's a work, like a productivity example as well. And so when you think about working with different groups, and I love that you have been working with these engineers, these people who are probably not the ones who are the forward facing. They don't have opportunity to even get a rep of connection. Right? Yeah.
Because when I started, I wanted to go back to all the salespeople, like in the NHL and the NFL where I used to work, and I knew the stress. And you're 20 something and you're getting paid really well, and you finish your day and you be stressed and you go to the bar, and you get up and do it again. And that was the cycle for me for a while. And now I know that I can go to work and have a good day and talk to my wife and kid, or have one glass of wine, and it's so much better because I'm happy because I'm happy. I'm not happy because of what I have or who's doing what or where I'm going on vacation. Those all help. Yeah. But you're the only person that can make you happy.
Yeah, I think that happiness is a practice, right? Yeah. It is an ongoing practice. Yeah. There is no
here's the goal.
You did this.
Yeah, and it's not, happy's not the goal.
What? Yeah.
Happier is the goal. Right? Yeah. Because I'm having a great day today, but who knows about tomorrow?
For sure.
I could get another rejection email.
You could.
Or I could win the lottery. Who knows?
When we have people who have life changes, right? Like when you keep putting yourself out there in front. I think that's you go back to your sales, you can accept and get told no all the time, right? And if we hold on to the no, we would never get the reps in, right? And I'm in the journey right now of figuring out what does it look like how can I do more of this integration of the mental health and the fitness and And more so just getting in front of the conversation and saying, what are you doing right now in your life that helps you build connection?
Yeah.
What are you in your life where you are getting some, like, what do you actually want to do?
Yeah.
And hence, like, the name for the podcast with Erica and I, like, literally would just be like, we just want to actually do things, right?
Yeah.
Like, and I think that's where, for you and our conversations and our connections, it's always been, like, how can we be more helpful and serve our community better, and like the other communities that you just didn't even realize.
Yeah.
Right? Like Minnesota.
Yeah.
Right? Like a place that
I've
you
never
went
been
to
before.
and you've never been to before.
There's a few lakes out there.
Yeah, there's a few, right? How many lakes is there?
Over 10,000. So they say. I haven't counted them.
Oh yeah. Have you been to
I haven't had the time.
Have you gone to multiple of them though?
Yeah, we stopped at a couple.
Okay. So next, so you said you have the cruise one, cruise gig. You did one at Walla Walla Schools. What? And you have the book.
Yeah.
Well, tell what else? What could I say? I want to make sure I'm like, what do I want to say? Like, what's a story that sticks out to you when you feel like it's hard for you to feel happy? What is like your story that is like the thing that you remember?
The story that I go back to and I'm like, is this working? Am I going to make a difference? A speaker friend of mine, Jeff, in Coeur d'Alene, reached out to me. This is early on. This was a year into it. And he's like, hey, there's a speaker event kind of like you went to. And it was out in Michigan. And I talked to Becky and I was like, hey, it's going to cost money, but I'm going to meet people. I'm going to learn how to do this. And so we decided it was a good thing. So we went out there and I met this guy out there. His name's Scott, really nice guy. We became friends and we followed each other. And then he invited me to come talk to his organization out in Seattle a year later. So I went and did that, kept in touch and everything, and just what I do, right? I try to collect people, and some people I talk to more than others, but whatever it is. And then they had asked me to come back to the same conference 3 years later and be the keynote. So I went out there as a participant, and then I got to be the keynote at the end. And so I texted Scott about 6 weeks before and said, hey, are you coming? I'm speaking, man. He goes, awesome. He goes, I can't wait to hear you again. So we get out there and I did the closing keynote, and then we're out having dinner, burger and a beer afterwards. And he said, hey, thank you so much for your message, Greg. I really appreciate it. It means a lot. And I said, you're welcome. And he goes, it works. I go, as a speaker, I was like, well, did I say something different tonight? Because you know what I do. And he goes, the message of reach out, no matter what. Reach out if you're overwhelmed or divorce or thoughts of suicide. I said, well, good. I'm glad. And then he got really quiet, and I was like, oh, no. And he said, I don't know how to tell you, so I'm just going to tell you. He said, 6 weeks ago, I had a plan to end my life. And he said, I left work, and I got my truck, and I went to the gun shop, bought a pistol, got back in my truck, and I was driving to my favorite fishing hole. He said, somewhere between the store and the fishing hole, that thought popped into my mind. Reach out, reach out. What did Greg say to do? And he said he pulled his truck over, he called his sister, they talked for about 45 minutes, she came and got him. He goes, Greg, I'm in therapy and I'm alive because I listened to your message. And that gets me every time. And again, it's not the messenger, it's the message. Right? You have so much impact here at CrossFit that you don't even know. Some people will tell you, but most people won't. But there are people, trust me, that come in here every day that might be close to suicide or might be through divorce or might be bankrupt, right? But the connection that you guys have built here is so incredible to where people feel like they can come and talk to you. And that I have to remind myself of that story. And I share that story with Scott's permission just because it's so impactful. We don't have to be an expert on mental health. We don't have to be an expert on fitness or sales or whatever we do. How are you really doing? Right? And the first time I asked that question, it was weird and awkward, but I don't even think about it anymore.
Right.
Like I'll end my phone calls, how's your headspace? Right? Guys like, oh man. And we have a conversation. Whereas before, who who won the game and what's your favorite beer? Right? So it's a completely different, but it's not a far shift from what I do. It's just asking one more question.
So, and I just wanted to say thank you for telling that story.
Yeah.
it does not go without notice how much growth you've experienced after first getting to know you and seeing this journey that you've been on, and the fact that you are being a person who is willing to show up and say, how are you?
Well, thank you.
How's your headspace? That is, if we could empower all of us, there would be no need for as much therapy as there is. Right? Like there's not like
still need the gym.
Still need the gym, sure, because it's like anything, right? I love for people to feel like they have a wide network of people who care about them, because like you mentioned before, one person at work reduces the likelihood of self-harm or hurting, but also that they'll ask for help and they'll feel happy at work. Well, these are all things like, how do we get up the line, up the stream? Because prevention is the most important thing for so we just reduce the likelihood of losing people.
And it doesn't cost a lot of money, and it doesn't cost a lot of time. Like I now meditate, I do breathing exercises, and I've been to the gym consistently 5 days a week. But what I go back to what you've built here. I was talking to Phil the other day, and he's like, I'm still going. He goes, some days I'm getting older, I don't feel like it, but he goes, it's community. I walk in there and I've got my friends, no matter what's going on. Even if I don't feel like working out, he's got what you guys have built. So it's important. Yeah,
it is important for us to keep doing the things and actually do them. So I love that you're going to keep on showing up. You're going to write a book. Stay tuned. His book's going to come out. We'll have it out at the gym. Have your book and follow his podcast, WorkHappy. And I will tell you that the goal always is a healthier and happier and more connected life. And so if you are someone who is actually doing things or thinking about actually doing things, we want to hear about it. We'd love to get to cheer you on along the way, because that's what we do. And we want happier humans for life. So enjoy the rest of your day. Yeah. Thanks so much.
We did it.